Hi, my name is Danny Coyne and I'm with bcfishing.com. It's wintertime and we are here in beautiful Osoyoos, located in the South Okanagan Valley of British Columbia. Now, most people think of Osoyoos as more of a summer destination for fishing. However, there's multiple lakes within an hour's drive from downtown Osoyoos that offer really good ice fishing, and that's what brings us here today. There's Kapula Lake, Ripley Lake, Madden Lake, and Yellow Lake, just to name a few. Today, we're going to head on up to Yellow Lake and we're going to show you some basic tactics and tips on how you too can come ice fishing while you're in Osoyoos. You can use these tips and these tactics really anywhere you ice fish in BC. It looks like that sun's starting to creep its nose up throughout those clouds, so let's go grab a good cup of coffee and make our way on up to Yellow Lake. All right, so here we are at Yellow Lake. You know, just a little ways from Osoyoos. It was just a quick cup of coffee and we were here. As you can see, the sun is starting to come out, which is going to be a beautiful day on the ice. Hopefully some of these shadows go away. The really great thing about Yellow Lake is that it is aggressively stocked by the Freshwater Fishery Society of BC. They stock it with rainbow trout, brook trout, and kokanee. There's also some yellow perch in here too as well. And that's what really makes this lake a lot of fun to come out and fish, is because you never know what's biting on the other end of that hook. It's really easy access to get here. It's right on Highway 3B, which is really nice because you can bring up a car. You don't need a 4x4 truck. It even has full plumbed, maintained washrooms by the BC highways, which is really great for the families. Now, when I get to a lake, really any lake in BC, when I'm ice fishing, the way I'm going to approach it to find fish is first thing in the morning, the fish are going to swim up into the shallow areas of the lake. And that's what I'm going to do first off, because it's still somewhat early morning. I'm going to drill a series of holes starting from the shallow weeded areas, because that's where the fish are feeding. And then I'm going to work my way out to the drop-off ledges, anywhere between 10 to maybe 15 feet of water. As those fish move up in the morning, they're feeding, I'm going to be targeting the fish in that area, and then throughout the day I'll work my way out to that drop-off ledges. And that's how I'm going to drill my holes. So let's go ahead, drill some holes, and see if we can hook into some of these nice fish. You know, when it comes to ice fishing, it doesn't take a lot to get into it. It can be a very inexpensive sport. First thing you're going to need is a couple pieces of gear, and that is an ice auger to drill your holes. I'm spoiled, I have a powered ice auger, but a manual ice auger works just as fine. You're going to need a scoop to scoop the ice out of your hole and keep that hole clear of ice. You're going to need a small spinning rod. Now, does a normal spinning rod work? Absolutely. If you're going to use a normal spinning rod, I do suggest using a 5 to 6 foot rod and something very light. You've probably seen these, but these are the small little ice fishing rods. The benefit of these rods is that it allows you to stay really close to the hole, so you don't have to stand far back from a hole by using your normal spinning rod. Regarding the terminal tackle, first of all, the main line has to be between anywhere, I recommend 6 to 8 pound test for your main line. You're going to need some weight. I put a little small barrel weight here, which will actually slide along my line. Here I have a little small barrel swivel, and then I have my leader. And my leader, I like to go for a 4 pound to 6 pound test. You need a small hook to hold your bait. Now, there's lots of fancy jigs and spoons out there, but when you get started, you just need a small little hook. Today I'm just using a glow hook. Size 4 to size 6 hooks work great. For the bait, we have your normal earthworm, your dew worms. You can find those almost in any bait shop. They're popular. Mealworms is another one. They're a very popular bait throughout the Okanagan. as well as corn, pink maggots, and even normal cocktail shrimp. And I've dyed my shrimp because I like to give it a little bit more extra coloring while it's in the water. So what you're going to do is you're going to place your bait right near the bottom. You're going to put your, you're going to let your line out down the hole. You're going to go all the way to the bottom. Remember when I was telling you that those trout, they like to come up in the shallow weeded areas in the morning to feed, and later in the evening, just before that sun goes down, they come up in these weeded areas to feed on these insects that are in these weeds. These insects are actually located right on the bottom. So that's where we want to have our bait. Let your line out all the way to the bottom until you get slack, which means that your presentation's on the bottom. And I just reel up a little bit, pull it up about 6 to 8 inches, and leave your presentation in that area. Now, sometimes the fish will want some action. You're gonna need to slowly jig your lure or your hook, your presentation, your bait, and sometimes you just let it sit still. Really, you're gonna let the fish decide on what kind of action you're gonna use. It's really fun when you can kind of jig and you feel the bite. When you start to see your fishing line cross the hole, what's gonna happen is that means that that's a really subtle bite. So any movement, lift your rod tip up and set that hook. Hook sets are free, so take as many as you like. Now that you have a good understanding on how to approach ice fishing and some basic tactics to get on some fish, come up and try some of these incredible lakes for ice fishing just outside of Osoyoos. The South Okanagan ice fishing season usually starts from the 3rd week of December and can last all the way up until about the end of February and even the beginning of March. Enjoy Canada's warmest welcome, and we'll see you out on the water. So as you can see, the blue sky has gone away and some cloud cover has moved in. But that's okay. Sometimes cloud cover can actually bring on a good bite. But with any luck, these fish should start biting pretty soon here.